What's up, Crypt Nation? It is episode 41. Bryson Pizza Mind here, September 17th.
That's right. Hey, we finally got it right.
We finally got it right.
Without a stutter. Only took 41 episodes.
That was smooth. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in San Diego. Not a cloud in the sky. The waves are breaking. You just can't complain on days like today.
That's also because altcoins are mostly green.
Altcoins are green, and we have some bullish news.
I might have died. Is this real? Is this reality?
This is reality. I can't believe I would ever thought that an altcoin would have even a double-digit percent gain, and we're seeing a lot of double-digit percentage gains across the board.
I still don't feel like alt season has started, though. This is just a blip.
It's like down 99% to like down like 98%.
Yeah.
But something feels right about that. Something feels good.
We just haven't had any good news in the altcoin markets in so many months. Literally just not bleeding out anymore. Feels like euphoria.
We are twisted. So, guys, today we have three pretty big events happening in the crypto world. By events, we just need news stories. But let's start off with Line, which is the big platform in Japan, launching a crypto exchange.
Yeah, so they got a license 2 weeks ago and then crapped out this platform they call BitMax, which is not to be confused with the existing exchange BitMax.
I don't know why they did that. Are you sure it's not the same?
I am very sure. So
Wow.
bitmax.io is not the same as bitmax.me. Bitmax.me is Line's new crypto purchasing app. They only have 5 cryptocurrencies. It's available to the 81 million monthly users of the Line app in Japan, and is now fully integrated with their line of products and shopping and other things. So,
excuse the pun.
Pretty cool.
Line of products.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so they are going to be offering 5 cryptocurrencies. I think it's just the top 5.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. And then in other news, really exciting, we have the CFTC, which is a U.S. Regulatory body, the Commission of Futures Trading and Commodities.
Yeah.
So basically, they regulate Bitcoin futures and amongst corn futures and all that kind of stuff.
It's Commodities Futures Trading Commission.
I think you're right. I
don't know.
No, you are. And so the CFTC today appointed the general counsel, or one of the general counsels of Coinbase, to be the director of market oversight. So this is the group that's responsible for overseeing all sorts of derivative platforms and products, including that young market of Bitcoin futures. We have Bakkt launching in 6 days, which is the physically settled Bitcoin futures. And this is bullish, man. This is like an insider woman in the crypto community that is now, spending time with the CFTC, helping develop the proper regulations for this market.
Yeah.
We have somebody who knows what they're doing. Finally working for the government, doing all this stuff. So what will she be doing?
Dorothy, you saint.
You saint, you warm our soul. She's going to be evaluating and potentially approving, giving her stamp of approval for different derivative products that will be offered in the United States. And in the past, the DMO, which is the organization that was in the CFTC that she will be heading up, has examined the CME, the SIBO, and Bakkt's various Bitcoin future proposals in the past. So these are the people that we want actually making the regulations, because they're actually freaking informed about crypto.
Absolutely. And this is such an important thing, because while, I don't trade futures, like most of my friends and family never will, all the people with copious amounts of money, they all do.
Yeah.
And to have this physically settled in actual Bitcoin is going to drive the volume of and transaction like through the roof.
Yeah, the more the more products there are, the more liquidity there are, and the better ways there are to hedge your position. So instead of selling your spot Bitcoin or whatever, you could sell futures or buy futures or whatever you wanted to do.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and it's really, really healthy for the market, because what hedge fund is going to come in and trade a market where you don't have derivative products, and it's like, this is the ground level, base level infrastructure that's needed for a healthy, thriving ecosystem.
It was necessary.
It was super necessary. I also heard, quick baby little tangent, that the CME is thinking of doubling its contract size. So that means right now, if you want to trade a lot, one contract, it's 5 Bitcoin. And they're thinking of doubling that to one contract equaling 10 Bitcoin.
That's crazy.
So that's just another, we'll see. I don't know really why they're doing that. But again, those are the paper settled futures, meaning, they never actually touch the spot market. But anyhow, let's move on to the last story of the day. The big flop.
Yeah, so some of us remember EOS raised $4.1 billion a couple years ago.
Kind of hard to remember that one.
Because a long time ago since that kind of money was flowing around.
Literally unforgettable.
Well, there's another year-long ICO trying to do the same thing.
A reverse Dutch auction.
And they have not had very much success at all.
Yeah.
Through 6 months, they've only raised $2.8 million of its DApp tokens. Compared to where Block One was at the same time with EOS, they had $700 million. LiquidApps is actually pretty cool. What it is it takes all this extra computing expenses like off of EOS and provides like a second layer solution. So it can decongest the network, which was an immediate problem when EOS launched its mainnet. So it has use, like it has utility. It's not a scam that I know of anyway. But just due to these macroeconomic conditions, which were the exact opposite for EOS.
Yeah.
EOS timed the market perfectly. It was a super bull market. It was very, very easy to gain a lot of money. There's a bunch of interest. Also, they had Dan Larimer, who's a huge name in the industry. I have no idea who LiquidApps is. Never heard of it. Or LiquidApps, rather.
We should definitely keep
and
tabs
also,
on that.
This is the worst time for anyone to invest in an ICO because literally every one of them have just lost all their value immediately.
But I think some of the good buys, the good purchases are, probably going to be some of those ICOs that are trading 95% below ICO price.
Oh, absolutely.
And
that's usually when I've been jumping in as post ICO after it dumps.
Yeah, exactly.
And now all the smart money is doing the same thing. They wait till after it dumps. And for some reason, people still think it's just going to go 2 to 3x, like right off the bat. And when it doesn't, they just panic sell.
Yeah.
And people with half a brain just say, okay, thanks for the 90% discount.
Whatever you do, don't panic buy the pump and don't panic sell the dump.
Yeah.
Like that little, what is that guy's name? Lil Bubble?
Oh, yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. I saw that song stuck in my head.
That song's so catchy. The last thing I want to touch on really briefly is that tomorrow you guys need to have your ears perked up because the United States Federal Reserve is announcing interest rate changes. It's probably going to be interest rate cuts. That means that they're going to be devaluing the dollar a little bit. It's going to be a little
bit more because they just did that a few weeks ago.
It's like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, but yeah, they're starting to ramp it up a little bit.
That's crazy to make 2 moves this close to each other.
Yeah, it's
almost like saying the first move isn't the right one.
Yeah, or we didn't do it strong enough,
Yeah, well, one way or the other.
Because I don't think that they would boost it back up to where it was a month ago.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be nuts.
Just to tell Trump to go fuck himself?
That would be really nuts. But guys, typically interest rates have inverse correlation to the price of assets. And the S&P is at an all-time high right now. It's like it broke above it, stayed up there for a little, crashed back down just a tiny bit. And so we'll see if interest rates dump, then maybe assets pump. But remember, last time the interest rates dumped and assets dumped as well, which was like one of those things where it wasn't so obvious. Like everybody thought that when interest rates are going to dump, then the assets pump, and it kind of did a little whoop-de-doo.
This is why so many people involved in finance are bald. Nothing makes sense in this world. Yeah.
So we will see. Just stay safe out there, guys. It'll be exciting regardless, but over the long term, lower interest rates are better for Bitcoin. So stay tuned.
Mark this date on your calendar and look back and then time how much our hairlines recede from here. This has been Today in Crypto.
Ciao.